What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian 180 from the city of Rasslin, and this is my review for the August 9th episode of AEW Dynamite. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that you're notified when the city of wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian 180, on Instagram, X, Threads, and TikTok. So, tonight's AEW Dynamite episode, man, this was a really good episode to follow up a very big AEW Dynamite episode, which was the 200th episode of AEW Dynamite last week. And normally, I don't want to say normally, but most of the time when AEW comes out of a very big episode of AEW Dynamite, sometimes the following Dynamite is kind of like, it was okay, but like, kind of leaves a lot to be desired. Like, it's just like, like, I wish it was a little bit more aggression. I wish there was, a little bit more fluidity. I wish there was just more intensity, sense of urgency. This episode, this was a really dope episode. I really liked it. I like that. Man, what's weird is that it was more story than matches, but the stories were fluid within the matches. So it was just this nice flow and pace that just went throughout the show. And AEW's been very underrated in what they've been doing lately. Not to excuse the women's division, which now we're starting to see some things take shape and fold, but again, that's still got to see what else they have in store for the women's division. But man, this episode of AEW Dynamite, I loved it. It was very cool. There was a lot of things building to All In, which I love it. It's good. I'm really excited for All In. That crowd in London is going to go ape shit when it comes to All In, because the matches that they're slowly rolling out, we already know it's going to be MJF and Adam Cole. On Collision, you had Samoa Joe calling out CM Punk for a third and final match for their feud, and of course you had FTR issue a challenge to the Young Bucks, which I will get into in this review because FTR showed up tonight and confronted the Young Bucks. So that added so much, and man, this is fun. I know a lot of people this past weekend, they were like, oh, AEW's ratings for Collision are low, this is this. Look, they had a lot of competition. They're going to have a lot of competition. But as long as they have quality storytelling, great in-ring product, and just a nice, fluid structure that they've been having with Collision, they're going to be okay. Because no matter what you have on television, if you have a solid story and you're telling solid stories, eventually those people that are over there are going to be like, you know what? This game's, this college football game, let me go check out Collision. You're going to, by default, you're just going to go in. Again, we also got to keep in mind that AEW Collision is establishing itself on Saturday nights. This is already, was it June 17th? So we're coming up in, close to 2 weeks. It's going to be, June, July, August, 3 months already that Collision's been on the air. So it's still establishing itself on Saturday. So, I mean, it is what it is. But man, let's get into this. Oh boy. This episode of AEW Dynamite. Again, you guys know I'm going to talk about the 5 things that stood out to me for this episode. I'm not going to go through the whole episode, but there were just 5 things that stood out to me that I'm just like, this is good. We got to talk about this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the AEW All-In matches that were announced for tonight. You did have an announcement regarding a tournament for a Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW Women's Championship, which I thought was really cool because that is a very cool callback to the first All-In when you had Tessa Blanchard, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, and I can't remember the third. the fourth woman's name. Forgive me, guys. But man, the nice callback, man. Very nice callback. Let me see if I can get this in. Yep, there we go. I got it. So let me see. There we go. Madison. How did I forget that she's with AEW? Oh my God. So the tournament that they're having for the women heading into All In is really cool. So the first All In, you had Tessa Blanchard, Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, and Madison Rayne. So it's a nice callback to that first women's match on All In. So it's like kind of like a really cool callback. And we know Tony Khan, he likes to do these cool callbacks to things that happened before. And it's like, oh man, it's really, it's dope. So I do anticipate Britt Baker somewhat being in the final four. I do see that. Let me see where I got this because it was announced. So yeah, you got Saraya and Sky Blue. Then you got Britt Baker and the Bunny, I believe, on Rampage. So Tony Storm, she does have a bye in this tournament. So we'll see who's gonna come out of there. But man, that's gonna be a really dope match. It's interesting because we might end up with 2 women's matches on this All In card because I guarantee you the TBS title has to be defended at All In. It would be a travesty if it isn't, but hey, we already got Sheeta. She defeated Anna Jay in the main event, which really shout out to AEW for having the women's, more so Hikaru Shida, be the main event on AEW Dynamite consecutive weeks. Tonight's match against Anna Jay, it was okay. I don't know, man. It's just something. I think they're typecasting Anna Jay like in the wrong way. That like she should be more of a brawler and just aggressive and just almost similar to the Bunny, but not exactly. And it's kind of like they have her trying to be too finesse, and it's like, no, she does have a feisty attitude. It's just got to come out of her. But man, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. They didn't have them do too much, and maybe there were some parts that should have had them do a little bit less. But overall, it was a fun match. So yeah, I mean, between the Bunny versus Britt, Saraya, and Sky Blue, I mean, let's face it, it's probably going to be Saraya, Britt Baker, Sheeta, and Tony Storm. That's going to be that fatal 4-way match for the AEW Women's Championship. The other match that was ironically announced for AEW All In, Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. Man, Swerve Strickland and AR Fox, that duo is growing on me. And it's amazing how they fit AR Fox with Swerve Strickland. Of course, they have history going back to Lucha Underground and Swerve Strickland being kill shot and everything. But man, they like a glove, man, they fit. Like this is one of the most fluid tandems that AEW has done in a long time. And their history with Darby Allin and Nick Wayne, like this is one of the most organic feuds that's just like, damn, this is good. And of course, people were probably anticipating, oh, we're going to have Darby and Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox at All In. That's not happening. Swerve Strickland comes out, AR Fox comes out, they call out Darby Allin. Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland, they're going back and forth on the mic. Darby's like, I respect you. And man, it looks like you guys got new friends. And, I have some friends too. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Sting is beating everybody with a baseball bat. Everybody runs. Man, there was a point where AR Fox ran up the stairs, and the security guard just jumped and just hauled. Of course, he wants to protect him because you just got people that, hey, how's it going? Hey, yeah, I'm on, and you know you got other people that might try to do something. So he just started up there, and in the ring you had Sting and Swerve Strickland, and that's a combo that I never thought I would see in AEW, but we're seeing it. And he has the bat to Swerve Strickland on his chin. He's looking at him, and then he looks at the All In banner, and then he points at it. And then, of course, later on, Tony Khan makes it official. Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox in a coffin match. And if you don't know what a coffin match is or need a reminder, check out the coffin match between Ethan Page and Darby Allin. I believe that was the last one that he had. Actually, no. I think it was his coffin match against, oh my God, the House of Black, I think it was. It's one or two, but you can check out those matches. Those were really good. So that's going to be interesting. Sting, Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox in front of right now, I believe it's 79,000 tickets that are sold. I believe they're 1,000 short of 80,000. That is impressive. Damn, that's impressive. The other match, going back to the first match that happened of the night, you had Young Bucks versus the Hardys. After the match, Nick Jackson grabs the mic. He just mentions FTR. FTR comes out. They have this stare down. And all Nick Jackson says, all in. That's it. And FTR holds up their belts. And mind you, this is a response to FTR calling out the Young Bucks for All In. Let's do this. Third match, winner take all, that whole thing. And then later on, we get the graphic. It's official. We're getting the Young Bucks versus FTR at All In front of 80,000 people. Man, this card is starting to shape up really good. MJF, Adam Cole, Young Bucks versus FTR, Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. You have CM Punk and FTR. This is pretty good. This is getting good. Man, to have a card like that in front of 80,000 people, man, kudos to AEW, man. It's funny because last week many people were like, oh, they're not announcing any matches and so on. And mind you, that criticism is granted. There were no matches announced, and it's like, okay, are they slow with announcing these matches? What's going on? Of course, fans will be fans and everything, but this card's shaping up, man. I like this. This is really cool. Moving on, the end of the Jericho Appreciation Society. This kicked off the night, and normally when AEW has had talk segments like this that kicked off the show, it was either too long or it dragged to get to the point, or it just didn't. It was just something that didn't like. It's like, okay, I get it. I get the concept. I get this, but it's like this for me. This was really cool because it got right to the point. And of course, Chris Jericho has, somewhat received criticism as far as some of the angles that he's had in AEW, like, oh, his storylines go forever and ever and ever. Some feuds should be 3 months and they go on for 7, 8, 9 months, and so on and so on. But this really got to the point. Jericho, he comes out. Everybody, addresses their gripes. Garcia, he cuts him off, and he's like, I turn my back on my heroes, and since you're not choosing me, I can't do this anymore. He walks out. Hager, he's like, I don't appreciate Chris Jericho. Leaves. Ty Mello, she's basically saying, I'll have this baby come back in a year and be champion without your help. She leaves. Anna Jay, she's like, tonight I'm going to be selfish and I'm not about appreciating you. She leaves. Angelo Parker, I don't want to be doing this. I'm a sports entertainer. He leaves. Matt Menard, man, he gave a very emotional promo. He describes the things that Jericho did for him um, when he was a free agent, when WWE let him go, and just all that Jericho did and bringing him into AEW. And he mentions the last 18 months have been a dream for me. And man, this was a really unexpected line that he said. He's like, and I see my colleagues, guys that I came up with, Eddie Kingston, Kevin Steen, I see why they hate your guts. And he walks away. Sammy Guevara, I need you to listen. He smacks the mic down. He mentions, I went from fighting for the world title to fighting your battles. Maybe I was wrong. Seems like you have a lot to work out, and walks away. And Jericho is left alone. And this is the first time in AEW history that Chris Jericho doesn't have a faction. Nobody is around him. He had the Inner Circle, which transitioned into the JAS, and he doesn't have anybody. So after this, we get a backstage segment where Renee Paquette, she runs into Chris Jericho. Don Callis runs up to him and he's like, hey, sorry if I caused all this that's happening right now. It's like, yeah, okay, Don. And Jericho looks at him and he's like, I gotta have I got a lot to think about. And you know what? Next week I'll have your answer if I'm joining your family. It's like, oh. So next week we got Chris Jericho and if he's gonna join the family or not. And AEW's been doing, like I mentioned this before in previous reviews for AEW, they've been doing a lot of subtle cliffhangers within like the stories in between like the main event or major story. They've been doing subtle cliffhangers where you're like, okay, man, who's going to be this? Who's going to be that? Who's going to be this? And this was pretty cool. This was pretty cool, man. I like this. I'm really interested to see where this goes. And I think everybody who has questions about Don Callis and his family really want to know who the hell's going to join his family. It's only Takeshita. That's it. Like, are they going to bring someone within AEW? Are there going to be new signings that are going to come to AEW? What's going to happen with this faction? With Don Callis and his family. Like, who's joining? We don't know yet. And I think that's a cool thing to have because you're like, okay, we know it's going to be somebody that Don Callis has been scouting, and it's like, man, who is he having? For me, when this segment opened up the JS, I'm like, oh man, Don Callis is going to come down to the ring, and basically everybody from JS is just going to turn on Jericho. That's Don Callis' family, or they're going to have a few members, and they're going to join. Like, the last three guys were Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Sammy Guevara. And I'm like, oh man, Don Callis is going to come out. Those are the three that are going to join Don Callis' family. That didn't happen, so we just got to wait and see how this plays out. Moving on, RVD versus Jack Perry. For me, that was the match of the night, and it was more so because, man, RVD looked pretty good for his age. He didn't try to overdo things. Of course, there was a spot where, he tries to do the split moonsault and, it's slipped or what have you. Look, that happens. I know people are like, well, you shouldn't do that. Look, man, till you get in the ring, shut up. But other than that, man, he looked very good. What I liked is that he modified what he does to Jack Perry's pace. And Jack Perry has a really good pacing in the ring. And it was just a very well-paced match. RVD got his little key spots that we know him for doing. He got the frog splash. He got the spinning roundhouse kick with the chair. The running drop kick with the chair in the corner. He got his spots. He got the apron spinning leg drop on the barricade that he normally does. So he got all the spots in, and it just wasn't. It was just easy to sit there and just digest the match. It wasn't boom boom 100 miles an hour. It was just boom 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 boom. The spot where Jack Perry threw the chair, and it was crazy because he throws the chair at RVD, and somehow it's supposed to hit the ref, but like it kind of grazes the ref, and then it just like lands on the top rope and just stays there. Like it was really crazy and everything. But no, this match was really good. I recommend if you're a fan of RVD, check this match out. He looked really good. Like just man, within his limits. Like they didn't try to like, hey, we want RVD from 2006 or anything like. It's like, hey, this is RVD's a legend. Hey, do your thing, do your spots, boom, 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 and just let it be. And this was fun, man. Honestly, the way RVD was in the ring, it was similar to how we've seen Sting in the ring, minus that crazy jump that he did on Sammy Guevara. But how we've seen Sting, where he just does his spots here or there, not too much, and it just flows within the match. And this was a cool match. I loved it. It was fun, and we'll see what happens with RVD if he's going to return in AEW. So there's no word that he's signed any long-term contract or a short-term anything like that. But Jack Perry got the victory, and Taz was really funny on commentary. He's like, "Yeah, I see what you got. I see what you got." I'm digging Jack Perry as a heel. His music, I'm still it's taking a while to adjust. Once the music's off, like I can get into Jack Perry as a heel. It's just his music is just it's his persona and the music. It's still like okay, I'm listening because you're playing it, but like it's just not. I don't know. It's gonna take some time, but we shall see. Oh boy. For me, this was the moment of the night for AEW. The video and the in-ring promo. MJF, Adam Cole. Man, oh man. This was funny. This was very funny. So, let me see where my notes are at with that. All right. So, early in the show, you get a video of Adam Cole and MJF. They arrive at this place. They're outside, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this." And just like, "Oh man, we're going to, this place, and we're gonna get, women." It's all MJF's always like that. And Adam Cole's like, "No, we're at a trampoline park." It's like, what the hell? So they're on the trampoline and everything. And then MJF's like, "Hey, we're gonna play dodgeball." This is one of the most funniest things I've seen in a wrestling program. Like, whoever created this had to be watching the movie Dodgeball, because this was freaking hilarious. You just have MJF, and of course, he's probably not, he's not hitting the kids, but you just get these shots where he's throwing the ball and kids are just getting, like, whoever thought of this was hilarious. I know there's probably going to be bad. But man, what's funny is how he's playing dodgeball. And man, he's beaming these kids. And the shots of the kids afterwards where there's it's like, oh my God, who thought of this? Who thought of this? Like, it is one of the, it was freaking hilarious. And you have Adam Cole rushing like, "Hey, what are you doing? Dude, what are you doing?" And this little girl comes up and is like, "You know what? You guys are nerds." And Adam Cole's like, "Wait a minute, that's very rude for you to say." And then you see him look at the camera like this. He's like, and you just have the little girl giving them the number one finger, telling them that they're number one. Yeah, just telling them number one. And they cut away. That was hilarious. But now let's get into the nitty gritty. There's a lot here. So Adam Cole comes out, and they're hyping up the crowd, and Adam Cole and MJF, they're going back and forth, and MJF's like, "Oh, you want a promo battle? All right." And he's doing this, and man, he said a line that, damn. He's like, "You're so pale and white, Adam Cole. If this was the 80s, Hogan would have snorted you." Damn. Ooh, man. MJF is vicious on the freaking mic, man. So from there, like the crowd was just like, ooh, like commentators like, oh. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some feedback from Hulk Hogan or something like that. Nowadays it's bound to happen. So you get Adam Cole, and he keeps suggesting that, hey, we didn't get the AEW titles, tag team titles, but you know what? There's a set of tag team titles that I never got, and that is the ROH tag titles. He mentions all the titles that he had in ROH except the ones that he didn't win, which was the ROH tag team titles. And he's like, you know what? At All In, how about me and you in the 0 Hour take on the Aussie Open? And of course, people like this whole thing with Adam Cole and MJF, everybody thinks that MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole. I even think it because, I mean, MJF has done it for his entire time in AEW. He's always turned on people, and, you know, he's just done this. But I sent a few of these gifts to, shout out to Phil Lindsay from Grapsody, and he mentioned it. He's like, man, Adam Cole, like, do people realize, like, Adam Cole and his history and everything? And I put the gift of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And, man, I think a lot of fans assume MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole. I did believe that until, I want to say not halfway, but towards the end of Dynamite, when I started thinking about what was said after Adam Cole started mentioning the ROH tag team titles and everything, because Roderick Strong came out. And this is where I changed my mind from, like, I think Adam Cole is going to turn on MJF, and he's been setting this up the whole time. So Roderick Strong comes out. He's like, I can't believe you want to win the ROH tag team titles with MJF and not with an ROH legend and your best friend, me. You're seriously going to let him talk to me like that? And Adam Cole, or MJF, just ran down Roderick Strong. And Roderick Strong's like, you know what? Never mind. The Kingdom was right about you. You were never really my friend. After he says that, he turns around. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven hug Roderick Strong. And then Adam Cole turns around and he shoves MJF like, hey, these are my friends. And MJF's getting mad. And Adam Cole's like, no. And then you hear the crowd, hug it out, hug it out, hug it out, hug it out. Here's the thing. When Roderick Strong said, I can't believe you want to win the ROH tag team titles with MJF and not an ROH legend and your best friend, me. Roderick Strong's been walking around with a neck brace. How can he team with Adam Cole if he has neck issues? That in itself is a hint that Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and the Kingdom are setting up MJF. I know, trust me, they are setting them. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and MJ and the Kingdom are setting up MJF. And I don't think most people expect it. They think MJF's going to turn them and everything. I'm sorry. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, the Kingdom, that is going to be a new faction at All In. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. It's not a coincidence that, you know, Roderick Strong's been coming out. He's been throwing fits and everything. And one thing that I forgot who it was on Twitter pointed out is that Adam Cole, when he hugged MJF, he went, you know, like this, boom, boom, boom. He did the same thing to Roderick Strong in NXT. when he turned his back on him. That was when he turned on the Undisputed Era and everything, and he Riley and Roderick Strong, he super kicked him and everything. He did the same thing to MJF. Adam Cole is going to turn on MJF and align with Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. They're setting this up. I see it a mile away, and get ready, man. We are going to. It's hard to say. I don't know if Adam Cole is going to be a face or a heel. Then again, actually, let me rephrase that. He is going to be a heel, and we're probably going to see MJF as a face, which this falls in line with what CM Punk has been doing on Collision, where he's been saying, I'm the Real World Champion, which CM Punk has been slowly going down the path of a heel, which sets the stage for CM Punk as the heel, MJF as the face, and more than likely MJF is going to bring up not everything that happened at Brawl Out, but allude to CM Punk just being selfish and almost ruining the company. That sounds like some great television in the fall for AEW, doesn't it? Man, so moving on, a few cliffhangers. Of course, we got the Jericho, Don Callis thing, but this big cliffhanger, we don't know what's going to happen with Kenny Omega. Who's he facing or anything like that. So Alex Marvez, he catches up with Kenny Omega, and Kenny's like, hey, the Young Bucks have their match, and all this stuff's going on and everything. And you know what? I'm gonna sit down with JR. I'm gonna discuss Don Callis, Takeshita, and what All In has for me. So we don't know who Kenny Omega is going to face at All In. That should be surprising. The odds-on favorite is Takeshita. It might be someone else. We don't know. But, this is some good stuff with AEW tonight. And a lot to talk about. And just a lot of things where, it can go in so many directions. And AEW is always at its most fun for the fans. And I speak this for myself. I don't know how it is. You guys comment below what you guys like about AEW. But when AEW has these stories that can go in like 7 different directions, and as it evolves, it's like, it could go in another 7 directions. Then it's another 7 directions. That's pretty solid storytelling, which a lot of people are like, oh, they don't tell stories. They do tell stories. It's unorthodox to what a lot of fans have been accustomed to for the past 20 years with WWE. But this is some really good stuff. This MJF Adam Cole, everyone, each week you're like, okay, who's going to turn on who? And it's just like, okay, I think it's MJF. No, I think it's Adam Cole. No, I think it's MJF. No, I think it's Adam Cole. No, I don't think they're going to turn on each other. I think. Very good. Chef's kiss, man. But, overall, I enjoyed this episode of AEW Dynamite. This is fun. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen on Rampage. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen on Collision. AEW is doing a lot of cool, creative stuff. And what I like is that we're starting to see a more cohesive AEW storytelling. And, of course, we just want the AEW's women's division to be on the same page as all the other storylines and just everything be cohesive. And I think we're headed to that path. And, AEW All In looks really good. I'm excited for it, That card looks deep so far. There's going to be more matches added, so I'm looking forward to it. So that is my review for the August 9th episode of AEW Dynamite. Hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe to City of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180 on Instagram, X, TikTok, and I'm missing one. What other platforms is there? Threads. There you go. But let's have some fun. Wrestling's good. WWE's doing good. Impact's got some good stuff. Wild Women of Wrestling, I've seen they've got some good stuff going on. It's just fun going on. We got the G1 tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Stardom's got their thing. AAA's got some good stuff going on. But wrestling's fun right now. And man, all we can do is enjoy it and have fun. So with that, that is my review. Thank you all.